I'm gonna try a different character now. Tatsuya Yukimura, the hot and cold intellectual. When Tatsuya isn't concentrating on his studies, he tends to run a little hot and cold. Even as a child, he was always very focused and serious, but those traits have become even more dominant due to the current state of his family. That's a spoiler. Tatsuya is confident in his powers and ability, but he isn't always keen to show them off. Thank you. Chapter 1, Icebreaker. I push myself up to stand and look at the men surrounding me. The other guys seem a little, I don't know. I'm not sure I could rely on them. My eyes settle on the blue-haired guy. Other than Professor Kazama, I think he looks more serious and reliable. I'll go with Tatsuya. Tatsuya audibly sighs. He does not like me at all. I see. I'm not sure if I'll have the time to help you out properly, but I guess that was the most reasonable choice you could have picked. You might just have a good head on your shoulders. Ugh, arrogant much? Maybe I made the wrong decision. Don't be too harsh on Big Cheese, Tatsuya. I can't quite hear what Shinji mumbles, but I'm certain it was something to do with being a stick up someone's butt. Being a stick up someone's butt. Tatsuya can be a little difficult, but he's reliable and skilled. You'll be safe with him. Difficult? I frown, feeling a twinge of regret. I know I might be sounded a little off-putting before, but it's just because I'm usually pressed for time. If you stick with me, you won't need to worry about anything, so it makes sense. I'm not entirely sure of your situation, but I'll be there to guide you the whole way. Oh, thank you. Maybe he's more sensitive than I thought. Tatsuya glances at his watch and starts striding over the elevator. But because of the situation, I'm going to be late for work. If you want help getting home, hurry up and come on. I rush to catch up with them, just barely making it before the elevator closes. What is with this guy? He has some serious mood swings. The elevator slowly moves up the floors, unheeded with our uncomfortable silence. I can barely keep up with them, and I'm already feeling tired and shaky to boot. Seriously, what an asshole. Tatsuya pushes open the door to outside. I squint at the brightness of the setting sun. He finally glances back and slows down. But when he opens his mouth again, it isn't an apology. I'm gonna tell you some important things, but I'm gonna tell you fast, so you better listen up. I grunt in response, but Tatsuya takes this as an opportunity to launch into a fast-paced lecture. I don't know why you seem to have no idea what's going on here, but I don't have time to ask about it right now. I'll give you a rundown of the basics. You are some kind of human with magical abilities. Magic can be tied to emotions for some types of powers, and yours clearly are. Professor Kazama intentionally triggered your magic before, but I'm certain he miscalculated because they are far greater than he anticipated. Tatsuya glances at me. You might even have the power to blow up the whole school, you know. Who knows? But your control is non-existent at best. You need to focus on keeping calm and keeping your emotions in check. Luckily for you, I'm an expert in this. I somehow feel even more offended at this. I'm not the type to have a problem controlling my feelings. The man tried to attack me. Fair enough. But the fact of the matter is, you have way too much power and not enough control. For your safety and the safety of those around you, you need to keep calm while you work on your skills. If you feel like you might still be too emotionally unstable, you can come work with me. It's my mother's cafe, so you should stay calm in the back or something. No, I'm too exhausted, so I'll just go to sleep when I get home. I was fine all day before Professor Kazama decided to attack me. Another fair point. Alright, I'll trust that. Give me your phone though, if you would. I want to add my contact info in there so you can call me if you have any issues. Reluctantly, I pull out my phone and pass it to him. I watch, as he quickly opens the contacts and puts his number and emails it. He hands it back to me. I put my phone number in there, but honestly, I prefer instant messages or email. I'm pretty busy, so I don't like to chat unless it's critical. Okay. We turn to the street leading to my apartment when I feel a wave of fatigue hit me. Whoa. My knees buckle and I nearly fall, but I manage to catch myself. I feel like I can't take another step. The world is moving in front of my eyes. I stop and grab my head, willing the earth to stay still. Up ahead, Tatsuya finally stops, turns around, then jogs back to me. You okay? Sorry, I shake my head and stand up taller. I'm just feeling a little dizzy. Tatsuya looks around the empty street, then looks back at me. I can't have possibly predicted what happened next. Tatsuya moves closer to me and stares into my eyes. What is it? I'm gonna pick you up now. Huh? I'm late for work. I'm sorry about this, but I don't have time to argue. With that, he bends down and puts one arm behind my legs and one behind my back. He effortlessly scoops me up before I have a chance to process what's going on. What are you doing? Put me down! Nope. Tatsuya starts striding before breaking out into a ridiculously fast run. Holy crap! I'm terrified more than embarrassed, so I reluctantly throw my arms around his neck. He looked like a skinny little nerd to me. I can't believe he had that kind of speed. He's clearly not human. Still, I'm going to murder him when he puts me down. But Tatsuya never lets me down, only slows a little when he gets to my apartment stairs. Despite my protests, he doesn't let me down until we're actually in front of my door. He gently lets me down as if I weigh nothing. I feel so unsteady on my feet that I have to lean into my door. I glare at him, breathing heavily. I told you to put me down. Don't you ever. Tatsuya utterly shocks me, silent by bowing. I apologize for doing that. I know it was rude to touch you without permission, but I have to help my mother now. Okay? You can just, what? Why did you carry me? You can just tell me to move a little faster, that's it. Or we can run. You didn't have to carry me. I appreciate it, but you don't have to carry me. You should get some rest. It'll help you feel better. I can't even think of one word to say as Tatsuya quickly turns around and jogs down the stairs. I'm making my way to the business club fairly early. It's been 3 days since Tatsuya embarrassingly carried me home in his arms, but I haven't had any other outbursts or losses of control since. Aside from him emailing me to ask how I'm doing and trying to educate me, I haven't had any contact with Tatsuya. He did let me know that while the actual club meeting didn't start until a particular time, it's not unusual for some of the members to come early and hang out before it starts. However, when I get into the room, I see only Tatsuya sitting there. With his eyes glued to the computer monitor, his fingers type something furiously. Guess I'll just catch up on emails then. I quietly sit on the couch and take out my laptop. After a few minutes, I glance at Tatsuya. He doesn't seem to notice anything other than whatever's on the computer screen. I look back down at my laptop. My fingers hover over the keys as I stare at the screen. The read but unreplied to emails. Okay, that's a weird sentence. The read but unreplied to emails stare back at me. That's a weird sentence. I don't know how to read that. All of them with his name on them. He's sending me a lot of emails. That's what the sentence means. Despite not seeing me in person even once until now, he dutifully emailed me several times a day. and while I appreciate all of it, it has been more of a little overwhelming. I've been doing my best to try and keep up, but there's already so much I don't understand. I feel so frustrated with myself, but all I can do about it is to keep trying my best. With 10 minutes still left before the meeting starts, I figure I have just enough time to review all of my emails. The sound of fingers tapping keys is the only thing that fills the room for a while. I just about finish when Tatsuya's voice breaks the silence. "Oh, you're here, Smalls." I nod. "Did you not notice me come in?" "You said it was fine to come in a little early, if I wanted to get something done before the meeting. Although the way you wrote it made it seem like there's usually quite a few people here." "As the president, I'm here early every time. Excluding me, at most there are three others." "Huh? Are there more people? No more people in the club?" "Unfortunately, no. The business club severely lacks in members. And of the 3 who do show up, only 2 of them are actual members." He sighs. "Takumi just likes to hang out here. He isn't a member." I don't even know how to reply to Tatsuya's admission. I guess I just assumed that there were more people here. Taking my momentary silence as a sigh to continue, Tatsuya keeps talking. "It doesn't matter. Everyone is here for their own reasons and motivations, ones that have little to do with the club. So you don't need to pretend like you're serious about it." I don't bother hiding the frown forming on my face. Why would I need to pretend? And anyway, if you don't even bother to try and make something happen, nothing will. Waiting for other people to care can take forever. You have to make them care instead. Maybe you could do something that would get people serious. Something that would make them interested. Maybe like visiting some businesses. You could study the way they work. They could even visit ones that are relevant to the other members' interests. I'd expect Tatsuya to scowl and retort something rude to me after my impromptu speech, but instead, he just looks pensive. "Well, if you feel that passionate about it, you should submit the official proposal next time." Oh, alright. I'll make sure to do that." Tatsuya checks his watch. Since it's 10 minutes past and no one's here yet, we can pretty much safely assume they're not coming. "Shouldn't we wait for them?" "I know these guys, and besides, that it's just a waste of time." That would have to be it for today's meeting. Since it's just the 2 of us today, it's pointless to extend it anymore. If you come up with more solid suggestions before the next meeting, write them all in your proposal. Tatsuya begins to put his things away, and I follow suit. Wasting no time, I already begin making a list of suggestions in my head. Tatsuya stands up and looks at me. I forgot to ask you about your magical training." Alright. I'll walk you home so I can answer any questions you have. But that was me. That was him. "You don't have to. We can talk about it later." "No. As long as you're fine with it. This is more convenient for me. Shall we go?" I nod. Tatsuya holds the classroom door open for me, and we sit off through the empty halls. We walk through the campus without a word. I glance at Tatsuya walking by my side. I don't know if he's being more considerate of me at this time or what, but his pace is far slower than before. He looks back at me and our eyes meet. "Have you done any of the suggested exercises yet? How's your training going?" "It's not going anywhere. I haven't had any losses of control or even a single hint of magic. I'm starting to wonder if this whole thing is pointless. Maybe it's just a one-time event." Tatsuya snorts. "Unlikely. An outburst like that indicates clear and present powers. Magic doesn't just go away. And the fact that one of your eyes is now green proves that something's up. That is, unless the one green eye is just some odd-fashioned statement on your part." "Huh? What?" "My eye is green?" A strange chill spreads through my body. What are you talking about? I have brown eyes." I stop walking. My feet are rooted to the spot. Tatsuya stops and looks back at me with a frown. "What's wrong now?" With shaking hands, I reach into my bag and pull out a compact mirror. I almost didn't notice Tatsuya coming closer as I opened the mirror to take a look. My eyes! Almost automatically, I covered my mouth with my hand. How did I not notice? Even as I ask myself this, I realize that I know the answer to it already. I've been so busy, so wrapped up in my worries that I let myself miss something this big. I can't stop shaking. It's getting hard to breathe. Tatsuya stands before me with a frown on his face and speaks in a quiet, gentle voice. I apologize. I thought you knew. There's nothing to be afraid of. Remember that I'm here to help. His voice sounds oddly smooth. I look at him, but my heart still refuses to calm down. Is it a side effect of that explosion? Or maybe something the professor did? Is there a way to fix this? Whatever this is. Why don't we take a break? Immediately, Tatsuya veers off to the right, towards the courtyard. I'll get you a drink to calm you down. Okay, thank you. Can I get some iced coffee, please? Iced coffee? Sure, sit. I'll be right back. As Tatsuya strides off to the vending machine, I take a seat on one of the benches. I look down at the compact mirror in my hand. A green eye reflects back at me, and for a moment, I feel like tossing the mirror away. Here. A can of iced coffee is thrust in front of my face, instantly dissipating all thoughts. Thank you. I take the can from Tatsuya, and he sits down on the bench next to me. I don't know what to say, so I open the can and take a sip. About your eyes. I look at him, quietly drinking my coffee. If it's a side effect of magic, that's probably no way to change it. At least until you master your magic and can change it yourself. I sigh. I see. I suppose that makes sense. Have you at least been reading the materials I sent you? Yes, but it's all very confusing. There's so many terms I don't understand and so many references to things that sound like they're out of a fantasy movie. Haven't you been going over this stuff in any of your classes? Well, Professor Kazama has mentioned some of it. Most of what he talks about isn't part of what you sent me. Then you only have one magical class? I nod. Tatsuya looks deep into my thoughts for a moment before glancing at me. I'll talk to someone about allowing you to sit in for the practical magical class tomorrow. I'll also see about adding some more courses to your list. You need to be able to understand the basics before I can help you. A smile tugs on my lips at the confidence in his voice. He's pretty capable. If I say there's a problem, he immediately takes action to fix it. I think I made the right choice after all. With him helping me, I think I can get through this. Thanks, Yukimura. I think that will be helpful. No longer feeling so overwhelmed, I finish my coffee and get up with Tatsuya following suit. On the rest of our walk home, he talks a little bit more about the basics of magical control. But his tone is a lot less abrasive than it was on the first day. When we part ways at my door, I'm left feeling a little lighter than before. The next day, I manage to get through most of my morning rituals when I hear a familiar vibration on my phone. I finish getting dressed and check my phone to find an email from Tatsuya. Good morning. I talked to Professor Kazama. You've been granted permission to come and sit in the beginner magical course. Well, I can't. Sorry, it's too small. The text is too small. The beginner magical course while they get you officially set up. I will send you another email with a map and room info soon. That was a sexy burp. I quickly scan his words. Another class with Hikaru? I can't say I didn't expect it, although I was half hoping that I'd get signed up for some other class. With my other class, it's mainly just theory, but an actual magic practice with him. I distinctly remember the way he triggered my powers last time, and shudder. I stare at my phone, biting my lip. I can't shake the anxious feelings rising from my chest. It'll be okay, right? Despite my misgivings about Hikaru, there's a part of me that feels oddly invigorated about the prospect of another magical course. Maybe it'll be fun? It might be fascinating, actually. With these thoughts, I finally finished getting ready for the day, and make my way out to university. This day, not next day, this day. Right, that's happening right now. After my regular classes, I walk all the way down to the basement. I'm actually quite excited now. After talking about it with Tatsuya yesterday, it doesn't feel as scary as before. I quickly get into the elevator and get the hidden button to appear and press it a couple of times. I wonder if I've ever get used to things like this. But I sense someone's presence in the small space with me. I look back at the person I didn't notice before. A familiar figure is leaning against the back of the wall in the elevator. It's Cool Guy. He's one of the guys from the business club, Takumi, right? His heart stops to hammer away. Wait, my heart stops. My heart starts to hammer away. It's hammering away because I see this cool guy in the back of the... just leaning back, so cool. Was he in the elevator before? Didn't I just not see him when I came in? He grins. Finally noticed me. The elevator doors slowly close with a quiet ding. Yes. How did you... I'm not sure how to ask. I don't know the appropriate protocol for asking someone if they have powers or not. Can I even ask such a thing? What if it's rude? You're wondering how you didn't notice me. Or maybe how I got in here at all. Well, yes. Something about him turns awfully devilish at that moment. I followed you, of course. What? Takumi laughs. I'm super good at being sneaky, so there's no need to freak. That's why you didn't notice me before. I just have a good idea of where you're going, and it's somewhere Tatsumi never lets me go. It's creepy. I frown, unsure of how to reply. I choose to remain quiet on the ride down. Not much I can do to stop him now anyway. I wait for the door to open, but my eyes drift towards Takumi again. For some reason, the strange color of his eyes feels strangely familiar. I can't shake the feeling of deja vu. Could it be that I know him from somewhere? What? Before I can look away, he catches me looking at him. His lips switch into a grin as he leans in closer. You've been staring so hard at me. Interested? Or maybe you got some other reason. Oh! Never mind. This happens like way before the previous. This is another route, so this is kind of moving back in time. So which is why I was confused as to why I didn't recognize him. Tell him to back off. What if I was interested? You're the one standing too close. Me or you? I don't know. Maybe you're the one. Wait, maybe you're the one who's interested. Hold on a second. Let me get my composure. Ugh. Maybe you're the one who's interested. Seeing as you're standing so close to me, I stare blankly back at him. Takumi doesn't move or speak. His amethyst eyes search my face for something. The elevator's doors open with a ding, and only then do I realize that it's already stopped. Takumi backs up and grins. You're as clever as ever. Wait, what? I step quickly out to the elevator without looking back at Takumi. When I get off, I almost rush into someone. I stop in my tracks, seeing Tatsuya of all people waiting just outside of the doors. He looks rather fidgety and annoyed for some reason, and his clothes look a little more relaxed than usual. He looks different, but I think it suits him. Yukimura, what are you doing here? I didn't expect him to see him here at all. Tatsuya frowns at my question and looks away. Yakimura? Come on. Before we even move, Takumi pops out from nowhere behind me with a grin. My heart jumps at his sudden appearance. Does he always just randomly appear? Tatsuya was supposed to be helping his grandfather today, but his mom made him call it off when he heard about you. Tatsuya clicks his tongue. Takumi, what the hell did you even come down here for? I followed Mickey Cheese, of course. My voice is not as deep as it was before. Oddly enough, Tatsuya suddenly looks a little red in the face. And be quiet. Don't talk about my personal business. I watched the exchange between the two friends, feeling more than a little confused. Just what is going on exactly? Tatsuya looks at me and clears his throat. My mom wondered who I was texting so much all of a sudden, and so I had to explain the situation to her. I apologize for having to tell her about your issues. I'll be sitting into your class today so I can see what's covered. Yeah, exactly. The way I can help you out, more than here on out. And you. This gives Takumi a very stern look. You need to go back upstairs. No way. I finally managed to get here. I'm gonna check it out. You're going to Professor K's class? I need to cut a lot of this shit. Please. Thank you. You and him are probably cool, right? So he probably won't care if I sit in. That's ridiculous. It isn't gonna work. You just get us all in trouble. It's fine, now come on. Tatsuya just sighs and starts walking off towards the classroom, with Takumi practically skipping after him. I follow after them, my eyes never straying from Tatsuya's back. I find myself smiling a little bit. I don't know why he's so embarrassed, but it's very considerate of him to be so worried about having to tell anyone about me. It's not that big of a deal, but he really can be sweet. Even more so, I feel thankful to him for coming to sit with me in class, even if it wasn't his idea. I've been so nervous about seeing Hikaru after that terrifying incident, but having Tatsuya with me makes me feel much more secure. I glance at Takumi, who suddenly seems so innocent. Plus, being alone with Takumi was making me a little nervous, so I'm relieved about that too. Okay. The three of us soon entered Professor Kazama's classroom. Below zero. And it's one of the 4 traditional elements that can be manipulated. The three of us walk into the classroom together with the lesson already starting. Luckily for us, everyone seems to be engaged in listening to Professor Kazama, but they don't notice us. There aren't that many seats left to choose from, but Tatsuya finds some empty ones closer to the windows. As I sit down, he and Takumi sit on either side of me. With water, however, Hikaru's eyes finally catch us. They dance from Tatsumi to me, and then to Takumi, to whom he only briefly raises a single eyebrow. With water, there's also its other form, ice. Usually, you will see ice manipulation referred to as cryogenesis, especially in more scholarly circles. Highly skilled cryonesis has been known to use some brilliant strategies to defeat these enemies, even those who use such opposing elements like fire. He glances at Tatsuya with a smile, and out of the corner of my eye I can see Tatsuya sit up straighter. And luckily for us, today we happen to have an excellent cryokinesis in class with us. Yukimura, would you come up here and do a quick demonstration for us? Tatsuya pulls himself up from his seat and makes his way to the front of the class. He stands next to the professor. After a moment's thought, he holds out of his hand in front of him, as if he was holding something. I gasp to what I see. From Tatsuya's clasped hands, ice suddenly spikes out. It moves together rapidly from one single sleet form, a sword. The ice blade glitters beautifully in the light. All the students stare at Tatsuya in amazement as he swings his sword around in demonstration. His moves are sharp and precise, and although the sword's edge looks blunt, the form itself is elegant, and I get the feeling Tatsuya is more than skilled enough to use it. Logically, I know Tatsuya wouldn't just attack anyone in the class, but even as he stands in a relatively relaxed pose, I can sense the dagger that lies behind it. I used this type of weapon many times to practice sparring with my grandfather. One of the ice's key benefits is that in capable hands, it can become a literal and reliable weapon. Thank you for the excellent example, Yukimura. To form a functional weapon out of ice, it takes a lot of skill, and it takes even more to get it out into the desired shape. Now, out of those here who use cryokinesis, would any of you like to try making something? Many hands go up, but I make no attempt to move. Knowing that I can't make ice, it seems rather pointless to try and volunteer. Even if I did volunteer, who knows what could happen? Besides, I'd rather find out whether I could do it, somewhere private, somewhere I can't embarrass myself, or blow something up by accident. As I watch a focused Tatsuya help the other students practice, I realize that I'm actually quite surprised. I never would have guessed that he was the type to do any sort of physical work. Watching him swing his sword around to demonstrate how to attack and defend with a sword, I end up trying to imagine how Tatsuya might actually look working out. What? Wait, I end up trying to imagine how Tatsuya might actually look working out. Oh, whoa, mama, whoa. Memories of how Tatsuya picked me up with his arms, how easily he carried me as he ran, flooded my mind. Damn. As soon as the thoughts come from the forefront of my mind, I can feel my cheeks heating up. No, stop. The last thing I need is to start imagining him without a shirt or something. With my face burning up, I'm immensely thankful of no one who has noticed it. Already impressed with Tetsu, I see. Takumi grins woefully at me. He leans in just a little bit closer to me as he speaks. Ugh, I spoke too soon. I ignore my own blushing face. He is clearly very skilled. I don't see why anyone would be surprised. He chuckles at my response, not looking very convinced. Am I really that easy to read? I tried to hide my annoyance at how easily he seemed to see through me. For all he could know, maybe I was admiring Hikaru instead. I let out a quiet sigh. Well, whatever. I tried to focus on watching the rest of the students practice their ice magic as best as I can. After the lesson ends Tatsuya, Takumi and I walk together out of class. I manage to wait until we're out of the elevator before my curiosity gets the better of me. I look to Tatsuya as we walk down the hallway. So, Yukimura, those ice weapons. I'm assuming that that when you hold them, you don't feel the cold. You would be correct, although cold doesn't affect me in general. What about Oh guys, look! It's gonna rain! We both look at Takumi, who stopped by one of the windows. He looks at the sky with a pout. I better hurry home. I need to prepare for a job I have to do later. If the ground is going to be slick, I need to get additional gear. Gear? I'm confused at what Takumi is talking about, he bikes. But before I can ask, he gives us a quick wave goodbye and runs off, leaving only Tatsuya and I. Tatsuya doesn't show much reaction from Takumi, so I can only assume that it's not unusual for him to just yell and run off like that. Meanwhile, I find it hard to get used to it. There's something about Takumi that I can't quite put my finger on. He's so strange. As we walk, I feel like I'm on the edge of remembering where I am now, where I might know Takumi from, and why he feels so familiar to me. My phone goes off in my pocket, startling me out of my thoughts. I quickly pull out to see Dad on the screen. Hello? Hey, sweetie. How are you? Hi, sweaty. Good. Is something wrong? No, I'm just calling to see how you were so I can come down to the office tonight. What? So, if I can, yeah, basically, if you can come down to my office, if you're free. I like to have dinner with you and catch up. And I also like to talk to you about the business. He hasn't asked me down there for so long. Actually, hearing the question from my dad leaves me a little speechless. Of course I love to. But I'm more than happy to meet him. I don't even bother to hide my excitement from my voice, and I can hear Dad laugh on the other end of the line. Alright,
I'll see you tomorrow then.
Bye, Dad. As the phone call ends, I immediately turn to Tatsuya, who seems to be patiently waiting for me to finish my call.
Yukimura.
Oh, Yukimura, it looks like you don't need to walk with me anymore. I need to go to the station.
It might start raining anytime soon, though.
That's fine, I can just deal with that.
I have to go to the station anyway. So we might as well walk together. I can help with the rain.
Help? Well, if you insist. Does he mean, like, buy an umbrella? I can do that myself. He can be a little pushy sometimes, but still, it may be nice not to have to walk alone. Tatsuya leads the way out, and I follow him without further complaint. It's been a while since we left Hagiawara again. That shit. As we walk down a different road than usual. I look up at the skies that are threatening to spill at any moment. Maybe it's not going to rain after all. In the blink of an eye, the sky tears open, and rain starts pouring down around us. I stop walking inside, dejected at the downpour. Beside me, I barely notice that Tatsuya has also stopped walking. He reaches out his hand a little, feeling the raindrops as if he's never felt rain before. This sucks. I thought we might make it to the station before it started raining. Tatsuya says nothing, but closes his eyes and clenches his fists with a deliberate motion. Yukimura, what are you... As I watch as the rain directly around us turns to snow. Doing? The last part of the question falls out of my mouth, faint as a whisper. I stare up to the sky in amazement, all thoughts left behind. This is... no way. Oh my god, that's amazing, Tatsuya. I didn't know you could do something like that. I watch the gently falling snowflakes. I only get a short glimpse at the many different beautiful fractals before they quickly melt from the heat of the air. I can feel Tatsuya's quiet gaze on me while I admire the spontaneous snowfall.
Because we can't draw too much attention, I need to keep the area of effect pretty small. So you better stay close to me. I apologize, this is about as much as I can do. But we should be able to get by without anyone noticing. At least until we can get to the shop to buy some umbrellas.
We continue walking down the road, so close that our arms and hands occasionally brush against each other. I marvel at the beautifully dancing snowflakes in our own little snow flurry. I occasionally peek at Tatsuya, who is only looking ahead, anywhere but at me. The sweetness of what he did didn't get lost on me. We're standing so close though, but I guess it can't be helped. Deciding to simply enjoy the snow while I can, I brush away any other thoughts. We make it to the station without any incident, though we talked much more than usual along the way. The rain stopped before we even reached the shop to buy umbrellas, so in the end we didn't get them. Although I didn't say anything about it, I felt a little disappointed when the rain stopped, because it meant that the end of my own private snow flurry. I glanced at Tatsuya. I doubt it would ever come up again, but I really did appreciate it. It's probably one of the sweetest things someone's done for me. The air is filled with the sounds of the everyday hustle and bustle of people coming in and out of the building in an almost constant stream. He stops in front of the station and turns to me, shifting his weight from one leg to another. Tatsuya looks down at me, and somehow it feels like his dark blue eyes are trying to see into my very soul.
Well, I'll see you later.
He moves to leave, only to immediately stop and turn back around. He looks thoughtfully as he quickly adds something.
I'll call you later to explain today's lesson if you want.
Oh, okay. That'd be helpful, thank you. Tatsuya gives me a short nod and strides off deeply into the station to catch his train. Left alone, I stare at the retreating back, feeling a strange heaviness in my chest. I shake my head, hoping to chase the strange feeling away from me. Not wanting to be late to meet my dad, I tear my eyes away from Tatsuya and finally move to catch my own train. Oh no, I hope I didn't miss it. With that thought in mind, I rush off through the crowds and hope I don't have to wait to the next train. Having somehow managed to get onto the train on time, I entered the main building of Shinamura Industries. When I entered the lobby, I'm immediately greeted by a kind and gentle smile of the receptionist, Miss Miruno.
Hello, Miss Shinamura. It's good to see you again.
Hello, Miss Miruno. It's nice to see you too. It's been far too long. Dad asked me to come and meet him. Is he still busy? Miss Miruno nods slightly, her light brown hair swaying at the moment. Yes, I'm sorry, Miss Shinamura. One of your father's meeting ran over, so he now has one more meeting to attend before he's free for the night. If you could wait for him, I'm sure he won't take too long. A stab of disappointment pops my previous enthusiasm. Oh, well, I guess it can't be helped. My dad is a busy man after all. I try to hide my negative feelings behind a smile. Okay, thank you for telling me, Miss Mirono. I'll just wait here in the lobby then.
Of course, Mrs. Shinamura. I'll bring out some refreshments for you while you wait.
I give the receptionist one last smile and go to sit on one of the guest armchairs by the wall. I sink myself into the black leather and sigh. It feels oddly relaxing to be able to sit here in the lobby after not having been here for so long. Miss Marino works as efficiently as ever. She quickly brings out a cup of some vanilla iced coffee and a couple of biscuits to go with it. And then she goes back to her desk just as quickly. My eyes wander around the silent lobby. There's barely any people here, although that's not too surprising considering the time. I sigh, pick up the coffee cup and lean back in the armchair, ready to wait. As I slowly sip my drink, my mind starts to drift to what Tatsuya had told me while we were walking in the snow. We walk along the road quietly. Even though this isn't the first time we're alone in silence like this, somehow, something feels different. Maybe it's just the mere fact that we're walking so close to each other, but it seems to affect the mood instantly and make it awkward. I'm hyper aware of Tatsuya's every movement and just how close he is to me as we walk side by side. I wonder if he's all that aware of us being so close. Each time our hand comes close to touching, I feel my heart jump. It hasn't been that long since I've been close to a guy, right? I rack my brain, trying to think of something to say, but for once Tatsuya beats me to it.
Smalls, do you know the history of Hagiwara?
Oh no, I don't. I look at him, but he doesn't so much as glance at me even once we walk down the road. It feels strange that he started talking all on his own like that. He usually doesn't say anything unless prompted. It's weird enough that I don't mind admitting not having looked into the history of our school. Tatsuya wastes no time in launching into a full-on lecture about Hagiwara.
Hagiwara University is one of the top 100 universities in the world. I'm sure you knew that coming in. But it also has a history that's hundreds of years long. Hagiwara was originally founded as a neutral zone between supernaturals and humans. But when the supernatural world opted to hide away from humans, Hagiwara chose to continue as it had. That's when the basement became strictly for supernatural use, and protections were put in place to keep people from wandering in.
Tatsuya takes a breath and looks back at me.
It was actually named for one of the most famous sorceresses in history. She was once a patron of the school.
He gives me a slight smile.
I guess in a way, you've got deeper connection to Hagiwara than anyone.
Even thinking back on it, I still can't figure out what Tatsuya might have meant by that last part. Why would I have some deeper connection to the school than anyone else? Whatever the meaning behind his words, it's something I haven't been able to stop thinking about. Maybe I'm just overanalyzing it. Did he mean because of my powers?
Hello?
I finally register that someone has been calling out to me when an unfamiliar voice snaps me out of my thoughts. I almost jump back when I suddenly see a strange man bending over in front of me, staring into my face. Automatically, I lean back, away from the man. He smiles and stands up.
You space out pretty hard, don't you?
Who the heck is this? Do I know him? I examine the stranger before me. He's young and beautiful. That much is obvious from first glance. He's dressed extraordinarily casually for the business meeting with the CEO, so I doubt this guy is the man my dad is supposed to meet. And he's way too close to me right now. Ever heard of personal space? Seemingly undeterred by my complete silence, he continues talking.
You've been spacing out for a while now. You didn't notice me right in front of you at all.
The man chuckles.
I'm guessing it's a special skill of yours.
He stands up straight and looks at me right in the eye.
I'm Kasunosuke Kazuyama. That's Kasu. Just Kasu is fine for you. And you're the loveliest thing I've seen in a while. I'm the loveliest thing
I've seen in a while. I'm gonna introduce myself because I'm a lady. I'm Bigotries. Is there anything I can do for you? Let's tomater.
Not really ill. Just wondering what a pretty little thing like you is doing here, staring at nothing.
I blink, suddenly feeling my cheeks getting a little hot. Being complimented by someone so attractive out of the blue gets me a little flustered. But there's something about him, about the way he says it. It irritates me. Surely you must have some business of yours to attend to. I took over his casual clothes. I look over his casual clothes again, but Sunisuke just smiles brilliantly.
For the moment, my only business is learning more about you.
Is he seriously trying to pick me up? I see. So you choose to make irritating people your business often then?
No, not usually. It's quite rare, in fact. You just seemed pretty interesting enough.
Well, aren't I just the luckiest girl then? I shifted my seat. My eyes quickly scanned the room, looking for anything that might help me get out of his situation. At that moment, the elevator door opens, and with a ding, my dad walks in. Even from my seat, I can see his eyes land on Kasunisuke, and then on me. He smiles as he walks up to us. I stand up from my seat as our eyes meet.
Ah, Kazuyama, hello.
My father inclines his head ever so slightly.
I see you already met my daughter, Big Cheese.
My dad laughs slightly, although his eyes remain sober. I try not to frown as I stare at them. So this guy is here on business?
Oh, so she's your daughter? She's so cute. Tell me, is she single?
What the? I can feel the blood drain from my face. As he said this sort of thing right in front of my father? Dad only laughs it off.
All right. Since we're running late, why don't we get this meeting underway?
He puts a hand on Kasunosuke's shoulder and tries to lead him towards the elevator. Kasunosuke shrugs him off easily, a smile playing on his lips once again.
Why not let the lady come with us? This might run long, and I assume you two are close, or you wouldn't have called her here in the first place.
Dad looks back and forth between Kasunosuke and me. His eyes stop on me, and for a moment, he looks pensive.
It might not be a bad idea.
What? Really? Somehow I managed to contain my excitement within me.
Biggie Cheese, are you okay with this?
Yes! Yes, yes! Of course, I would be honored to join you. I'm happy that you would trust me with this. Maintaining my composure just by a thread, I practically scream in my head with happiness. An actual CEO meeting? I get to see how big deals work firsthand. Maybe Katsunosuke isn't bad after all. Dad moves to take the lead, with Katsunosuke and I following after him. We head into the elevator, and on the way up into his office for my first business meeting, cause I'm the first big meeting. I'm a big girl now. When we get into my dad's office, he gestures for us to sit. Automatically, I take a seat in one of the chairs in front of his desk, the one I've always felt was mine. Kasunosuke practically falls into the seat with a gentle thud, not even bothering to sit up straight. Dad turns to me.
Before we start, Biggie Cheese.
He isn't just my dad talking now. This is Rokuro Shinimura. Thank you very much. The CEO of Shinimura Industries. Shinamura, thank you. I straighten my back and look at him steadily.
Kasiyamam. Mr. Kasiyamam is here because Shinimura Industries is hoping to buy all the properties that he and his family owns.
At this short explanation, Katsunosuke nods with a smile.
I'm hoping that this deal will go through as much as Shinimura Industries is. Probably even more than you.
He explains this with a happy smile, but something about the way he says it leaves me unsettled. I try to fight off the frown threatening to form. I see. I give a small nod, and my father begins the meeting. This man, Katsunosuke Kazuyama, acts so strange for a supposed businessman. Then again, from head to toe, everything about him seems unusual. I watch him out of the corner of my eye while Dad talks. Who is this guy? I almost want to ask him that. How important could he possibly be? Almost as if sensing my thoughts, Katsunosuke looks at me briefly and grins. He quickly looks back at my father again. Once again, I try not to show any of my uneasiness. How did he even know to come in charge? How did he even come to be in charge of so many businesses at such a young age?
As we discussed before, I want this deal to be kept quiet until it's done. It'll make my life easier that way. Of course, I read over the outline of conditions you wanted met before the meeting. I assure you that I will make certain the process goes smoothly for everyone.
Katsunosuke chuckles.
As expected from Rukuro Shinamura, of course.
Katsunosuke pulls out a folder from somewhere and tosses it on the desk. It slides towards my father, who only looks down at it. Where was he even keeping that? Up his ass.
That's everything on some of the smaller businesses within my family. Some cafes, some small shops, and so on. Plus, all the info in the spa chain.
Betraying any emotions, Dad quietly flips through the various pages within the folder. A few quiet moments tick by, then he finally looks up at Katsunosuke and nods.
Everything seems to be here, just as you promised. I am quite surprised to see how thorough all the information was, even on the seafoam spas.
Hearing a familiar name, I can't help but react. Seafoam spa? Why does that sound so familiar? The name certainly rings a bell, although for a while I can't remember where I might have heard it before. Oh, it's a huge spa chain that's really popular. I glance at Katsunosuke. With how he's dressed, the bright colored hair, and just his general attitude, it's hard to believe he could own any place that successful. There must be something I'm not seeing. As the two keep talking, I continue to watch their exchange without comment. Carefully, I try to study Katsunosuke, trying to determine if there's might be something more to him than what he might appear at first glance. He so freely gives away all of this information, while Dad is hardly giving away any. I watch Katsunosuke as he violates everything I know about business, spilling all his company secrets. Just what is this guy's deal? In the end, talks between him, Dad, and Katsunosuke end up going well past sunset. Throughout the meeting, Katsunosuke continues to offer up information freely, even as my dad remains reserved about how much he reveals. Although the fact doesn't seem to bother Katsunosuke in the slightest, but just watching my dad work makes me feel more invigorated than I've ever felt in months. I guess I'm gonna save. Whoops. Go back. Spending a few hours in the actual meeting was so useful. I think I've learned more here in one sitting than I did by just reading books for class. Dad glances at his watch and smiles.
I think that might be for tonight, Mr. Kasiyama. There's not much else we can discuss until my people look through everything you've given me.
Katsunosuke nods at his words. A lazy smile plays on his lips.
Fair enough.
The two men get up on their seat almost at the same time. As they shake hands, I get up as well, ready to say goodbye to Katsunosuke. Watching Dad today, I realize just how proud I am of him. I hope that one day I can make him proud too, that I can learn how to be as confident and professional like him. A strange weight settles down on my heart, although it's a burden that's far too much familiar to me. I just hope that I'm capable enough to be able to take Dad's place as CEO one day. Kasunosuke suddenly turns to me and holds out a card. Huh? Taking a closer look at the card, I quickly realize that it's his business card. I take it without comment, but as I move it away, Katsunosuke grins down at me.
Flip it over.
Okay. I do as I'm told and flip the card over. On the other side, I see something scribbled down in blue ink.
It's my personal cell number and email if you want to get in touch with me on a date for a date sometime.
Huh? Oh no! That's wacky and creepy. Don't do that. She should be like, stop. No. As I stand there completely dumbfounded, Kasunosuke laughs. He waves at me my equally dumbfounded father and casually strolls out of the office. That guy, does he have no shame? Surprised my dad didn't beat the shit out of him. Daddy gonna beat his ass. I stare at the business card in my hand. To say such a thing, and right in front of my father. Dad clears his throat, snapping me out of my trance.
Shall we go for dinner then?
Yeah. I ignore my burning face, and thankfully so does Dad. My father offers me his arm, and we finally make our way out of the Shinimura building. Dad takes me to one of his favorite restaurants, Govira. I've been here once before, but the view and atmosphere of the restaurant is still stunning. We're shown right into our table practically the moment we come through the door. It's times like this that I actually feel like the daughter of a CEO. As we sit down next to the large glass windows, my attention is immediately drawn to the night view of the city outside. I can feel myself finally calming down after the encounter with Kasunosuke. The waiter introduces herself, takes our order, and swiftly leaves. Dad looks at me from across the table with a gentle smile.
Finally, we can have some time together. I'm sorry that I've been so busy, sweetie.
It's okay, Dad. I know that with this Kazuyama deal,
Okay.
Things must be pretty crazy, especially considering how many properties he wants to sell you. And besides, things have been a little busy for me too with my studies.
Yes, I can imagine that would be. And speaking of your studies, how are they coming along?
Oh, well, there was I stopped myself when I realized what I'm about to say. I can't just mention magic to Dad, can I? He watches me with a curious expression. Well, there was a little incident. Yeah, I don't think I should be blurting something out like that. I mean, would he even believe me? I got a little lost on my first day is all. So, that was a small adventure.
I see.
I mean, if I didn't know that it was real, I would call whoever told me about magic insane or just delusional. I decided not to tell him about the magic stuff. It's not exactly a lie, but it still feels like I'm lying to my dad. And it isn't lost on me that so far he hasn't mentioned anything about my eyes. Overall, it's going well. All my lectures are pretty interesting, and I'm already learning a lot, even though it's just the start of the school year. Why hasn't he noticed my eyes yet? Why hasn't he asked anything about it?
I see. Well, that's great to hear, sweetie. You're a smart girl, and you've always enjoyed learning, so I'd figured you have no problem transitioning. So tell me, what do you think of Kazuyama?
The immediate question throws me off completely. I try to choose my next words very carefully. Well, he was a little bit strange. And even though he seemed laid back, he also seemed kind of intimidating. Although I can't quite put my finger on why exactly. Dad laughs at my answer.
He was pursuing you pretty hard. Are you gonna go on a date with him?
Why, I can tell that he's at least half joking about this. It does make me think about Kasunosuke. I shake my head. He didn't seem like my type.
Kasuyama might be eccentric, but he is good looking and very wealthy for his young age. So, what is it that makes you uninterested in him?
Well, if I had to name it, then besides his what is that word? Lackadaisical. What the fuck? Hold on a second. Oh, shit. Shit. What is... Oh my god, I wish I had my phone with me. What the fuck is that word? God help me. Lackadaisical attitude. There was just something off-putting about him. God damn it. God damn it. Besides his lackadaisical, what the fuck is that word, young lady? Lackadaisical. Ew, what the fuck? I hate words I don't understand. There was just something off-putting about him. He nods at my assessment of Kasunisuke.
Biggie Cheese, while I never tell you to do anything you don't want to do, it is customary to wine and dine your clients. I can help create a smoother path to achieving a successful business deal. Oh, it can create. Yeah. In fact, it might be good for you to take an active role in this negotiation. It'd be a good experience for you. Do your own independent research on this deal. I'd be willing to hear what you find out about Kasama and if and why you think this deal would be viable for our company. Consider it some homework to prepare for the real thing.
I realized that I might have been acting immaturely about the situation. Not even for a moment did I think to look at it from the point of view where I can help Shinomura Industries. I never thought about it like that at all. Even though I mumble it, Dad seems to have heard me perfectly.
You don't have to push yourself, sweetie.
He smiles gently at me. No, Dad, I'm gonna do it. I'll take on this project in my spare time, and see what I can do to help you and gain some experience. If I want to be CEO, getting to see the inner workings of a deal this big would be an invaluable experience.
Well then, I look forward to seeing what you uncover and the decision you make. I didn't mean to do that.
After that, the waiter brings out our orders, and we fall into a comfortable silence. Even without words, it's nice to be able to enjoy a quiet family dinner with my father. I missed this more than I realized. Oh, Dad, how's Kayo doing?
She's doing well, and...
He suddenly trails off. His eyes shift away from me, staring instead out of the window. Dad? He starts talking, although his eyes still refuse to turn back to me.
There's something I need to tell you. It's about your mother.
Whatever it was I was expecting, it wasn't that. Even the mention of her feels like a punch to the stomach. I start to feel like I might throw up. Desperately, I fight off the urge to make some excuse and just run off to the bathroom. Fortunately, my dad doesn't seem to notice my internal struggle as he goes on. Though, there's a pain on his face. His next words come out empty and almost robotic.
Your mother left. She said she had her reasons for it. And I'm sorry, I can't tell you any more than that.
I don't know what to say. I hide my hands that have just begun to shake under the table. No, I can't think about her, about what happened here. Even with all this open space, I feel like the walls are beginning to close in on me. Mother, no, Shizuka, she... I grip onto the tablecloth, hoping it might stop the shaking, but it spreads uncontrollably. I find myself shivering all over. No, don't think about it. Don't think about her. Dad looks at me for an answer and frowns.
Biggie Cheese, are you alright?
I think I'm just coming down with a fever. I forgot my umbrella the other day when it rained, so I think I got sick from it. His frown deepens. Dad stands up and holds out his hand for me.
Come on, I'll take you home now.
Dad takes my shaky hand in his and helps me steady myself as he leads me to the door. Chapter 3. Ice flows? Flows? Okay. Whatever. In my room now, I gratefully wrap myself in my bed covers. The whole ride back, I couldn't stop thinking about it, about her. I told Dad that I would be alright, that I'd drink some medicine and go to sleep. Thankfully, he believed my story, but I feel horrible for lying to him about it. No matter how deep I burrow under my covers, I still can't stop shaking. I keep seeing flashes of memories I have worked hard to ignore. Glowing green eyes, the moon hanging up high in the sky, the strange tiny bottle of something. And the pain, the excruciating pain along with the darkness that followed it. I try to shake those thoughts away and focus on something, anything else. Eventually, the warmth of the bed and exhaustion of the long day gets to me, and my eyes start to feel heavy. And before I know it, I fall into a deep sleep. I walk down the dark, empty road. My footsteps are all too loud in the otherwise soundless night. I know that I need to hurry, or I'll be late. If I'm late, I notice that a lone figure standing at the end of the road. I break out into a run. My legs start to feel heavier with each step, but I keep pursuing onward. I get closer to her, so close I can reach out and almost touch her. I call out to her. Mom! My fingers nearly brush against my shoulder, but my hand is slapped away by an unseen force. Mom. She turns around with a smile. I stand frozen at the sight of green eyes glowing in the darkness. I can feel a gentle breeze caress my skin. The pale blue moonlight dimly illuminates the night. In the eerie silence of the night, I sit on the frozen ground with my back resting against the ancient oak tree. That's a hard word to say for me. Around me are nothing but endless fields of grass and purple hyacinths. Oh, Jesus. The delicate flowers gently sway as if dancing in some invisible wind. I try to look around to see if there's maybe something behind the trees. My body's unresponsive. Not matter how much I struggle in my mind to get it moving. No, please. The sound of footsteps coming closer fills the night. She comes into view and stands before me. She looks down at me with unreadable eyes, and for a while, silence reigns. A cold chill seeps into my very bones. I have to move. I desperately try to will my body to move, to do something, anything. She kneels in front of me, finally facing me at eye level. It truly is a shame that it has to be like this. No. She slowly reaches out to me, carefully tucking my hair in behind my ear. She gently touches my cheek, so gently that it almost seems like she's afraid that I will break with a single touch. Her eyes finally meet mine. They shine with countless emotions: pain, grief, regret, and most of all, resolve. She smiles sadly and pulls her hand away from my cheek. As she does, her eyes turn cold again. She covers my eyes with her hand. Her hand feels so warm on my skin. I'm so sorry, Vicky Cheese. I can't struggle and even move no matter how much I try. Nothing works. I desperately will myself to speak. Mom, please. I said that completely serious. My voice comes out strained, and just saying that much feels like a Herculean task. For the briefest of moments, I can swear I can feel her almost pull away. She doesn't say anything, but I can hear a gentle sigh. Her hand starts to feel hotter and hotter against my skin. I can't see. I can't move. The searing hot pain pierces through my eyes, and suddenly, it feels as if my there on fire. Okay, that's a typo. And suddenly, it feels like my there on fire. Okay, that's a typo. I can't move. She moves her hand away. My eyes fly open, but even with the darkness gone, I can barely see anything. My vision is blurry with the countless tears that stream down my face. The pain only grows in intensity, and I feel an overwhelming urge to claw them out just to stop. I look up at the blurry figure in Shizuka. But please, just stop it. I can see her tilt her head to the side, but I can't see her expression. One stab of pain shoots through me. Ah! My lungs are burning. I can't breathe. Crescendo. I shoot up in my bed. My whole body feels like it's burning. Each breath makes me feel like my lungs are freezing over. It starts to get harder and harder to take even a single breath. My body shakes as I grip onto the bed sheets in some vain attempt to steady myself. No, it's fine. It's just a dream. It's not real. Not real. I keep repeating this to myself over and over again to try to stop myself from shaking. I'm not sure how much time passes before it starts to work. The feeling of both burning and freezing finally goes away, and I breathe a sigh of relief. A sudden wave of tiredness washes over me, and I yawn. I push any remaining thoughts of my nightmare away and settle back under the covers. As I fall back into sleep, my only thought is that I hope for no more dreams. The sunrise hits my eyes, and I jolt awake. I look around my bedroom with a wildly beating heart. It's okay. It's okay. I'm in my room. I'm alone. It's fine. Everything's fine. I tightly hug my pillow to my body. A cold chill runs through me. It's just a dream. Just a dream. It's fine. I bury my face into the pillow. Shizuka. I shiver. Even thinking of her name immediately brings back the fear I felt that night into the forefront of my mind. I try to think of something else, anything at all to distract me and help me forget. I grab my phone to do just that, and immediately notice that there's a new email from Tatsuya. I quickly open it, curious as to what he might be emailing me about. Hi, since I didn't get a chance to discuss class yesterday, do you want to come over to my mom's cafe and study today? I'll go over the material I covered in class with you, as well as some beginner stuff and whatever I can. Yukimura. His message is short and to the point, but just reading his words, knowing that someone was thinking of me brings a smile to my face. I type sure to him without having to even think about it. Having replied, I quickly move out of my bed to start getting ready to go out. My phone goes off before I can even reach the bathroom door. I check again to find another email from Tatsuya. This time, it's filled with incredibly detailed directions of where exactly I need to go and how to get there. Blue Sky Cafe in Shawa. Sounds nice enough. I scan through the instructions, and something catches my eye. Oh, looks like I have to get on the station first. I've been to that particular station many times before, but I never noticed anything strange here. Then again, all the supernaturals I've seen so far look entirely human. What? Oh. If you disregard the odd hair colors here and there, that is. With my travel plans all set, I finally head to the shower to get ready. For whatever reason, I feel more excited than usual about going out to meet up, so I end up getting ready in a record time. I jump into my shoes and rush out of my apartment. When I get to the train station, I pull out my phone. I quickly double check where I need to go and what I need to do. In his email, Tatsuya stated that there was a special train that will take people from Chawa a couple of times a day. He predicted that I would have no idea how to find this train even, so he sent me to the full abetted, excruciatingly detailed information just for getting a ticket. I walk up to the very last clerk on the right, an older woman with bright electric blue hair sits behind the counter. She looks up at me through the top of the glittery purple frames. I try to lean closer to the counter without appearing suspicious. "One ticket to Chawa, please," I say in a lower voice. The clerk presses something under the table, and a small panel opens up in front of me, revealing a marble-like square plate underneath. I stare at it blankly. What am I supposed to do with this again? Worm? The clerk chuckles. "First time then? Please place your hand on the marble for a few seconds." I do as I'm told and place my hand over the cold marble plate. I gasp quietly when the cold stone starts to feel hot all of a sudden, and a strange tingle spreads all throughout my body. The once white marble changes to a green one right before my eyes. The clerk smiles at me without comment and hands me a single ticket. "Please enjoy your day, miss." I glance down at my hand and at the marble that turns back into its original color without my touch. I feel like this would have been a somewhat strange experience for me for previous me, the one who didn't know anything about magic. But I realize that now this has become somewhat routine, probably even more normal than some other things I've seen. With a little nod, I'm on my way to wait for the train. The platform I need is easy enough to get to. There is already quite a few people waiting around for this particular train, but still less than the usual. Most people here are either glued to their smartphone screens or looking off into the distance from where the train would be coming from. At this moment, while everyone is preoccupied, I casually examine some of them. At first glance, everyone seems ordinary. I doubt anyone would guess that any one of them may not be human. They must all be supernaturals of some sort, right? I don't see anything too weird about them. Then, something catches my eye just for a moment. Wait, did I just see fangs on that man in the suit? No way vampires are real, right? While I'm busy with my thoughts, the train finally arrives, right on time. People start boarding the train in the neat line. I stand behind a pink-haired girl and get on the train right after her. I find an empty seat and settle in. The train starts to move within moments. Seeing that no one pays me any mind, I try to look around casually without drawing attention to myself. In the quickly moving scenery, I see nothing out of the ordinary. Did I get on the right train? I look at the ticket in my hand. I'm sure I got on the right one. Doubts start to creep into my mind, but almost immediately, I start to realize how silly I'm being. Just because the train is supposed to take me somewhere supernatural doesn't mean the whole trip would suddenly take me through some magical land. With that in mind, I lean back in my seat and relax a little. A voice rings out throughout the train, announcing a track switch. As the train turns, out of nowhere I feel a jolt of something, like a static shock, run through me. I hold back a gasp at the unexpected feeling. What the hell was that? I turn around trying to see if we had passed something, but I can't see anything out of the ordinary. Maybe it's just me then. Maybe no one else felt that. I begin to wonder if I just imagined it when the pink-haired girl next to me looks at me with a smile. "Is this your first time going to Xiaowao on the train?" "Yeah, how can you tell?" "It's because your face just suddenly looks so bewildered." The girl giggles as if she had just witnessed the most amusing thing in the world. "Sorry, I shouldn't laugh. I'm Emi Matsuda." "I'm Biggie Smalls, boy. If you don't know, now you know." "What was that we just passed? Some sort of barrier?" "Something like that. There's a veil of illusion around Xiaowao that confuses the human eyes into thinking that they don't see anything. And that's what we just passed through." "Oh, I see." I think back to the strange shimmer that revealed the hidden button in the elevator. I wonder if that's the same thing in Hagiwara too. I mumble to myself like a grundle. I mumble to myself as a grunt. I mumble to myself, barely above a whisper. Emmy seems to catch on to what I've said despite my quiet tone. "Do you go to Hagiwara then?" "Yes, I do actually." "Me too." "I'm a first year there. My parents wanted me to attend since the first time I showed signs of magic. Hagiwara has some really good classes for mages, so they knew I'd be able to learn a lot. I see. So Emmy is a mage. Unsure about how much to reveal about myself, I smile and hope it doesn't look too awkward. I'm a first year too, so I'm pretty new to everything. Some of the classes there are so wild. Like, have you heard about what happened during one of the Professor Okura's classes last week? No, I don't think I did. Oh, it was so crazy. So during potions Professor Okura, who's totally strict, suddenly just decided to lounge on his desk, just like lying down all casual with one arm. He started asking questions about potions, like fucking Professor Snape, like he did, and they were random ones. Some were things that haven't even been taught yet and probably never will. And whenever someone got it right, he threw them some candy. Then when they were wrong, or when they were probably wrong, he just still threw some candy, but it was at them. I even heard he managed to hit a few people right in their eyes. And that's when the really crazy thing happened. Another Professor Akula walked in and yelled and was like, "Hey, what are you doing to my students?" So it turns out that it was Professor Akula's twin was just messing around with the class. No one even knew that he had a twin, so people were totally shocked. And I heard that they looked exactly the same too. It was so strange to think of something like that happening in class. But it's oddly comforting to know that even in this unfamiliar world, there are things that are ordinary enough to happen in normal life too. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Do things like that often happen in Hagiwara? Emmy thinks for a while, then shrugs and laughs. I don't know. We could probably ask one of the older students that. But it did remind me of an episode from Shakira Sparkle Cure. The twins ended up switching places for a whole day, and everyone only found out about it till the very end. Oh, I remember that episode. Do you watch Shakira Sparkle Q then? I love that anime. I haven't ever met anyone who liked it too. Really? Yeah, of course, I watch it. I love it. It's like the best though. Just the strong friendship that the girls have is so amazing. It's worth watching just for that. I nod along. Yeah, and all the magic they can do is so amazing. Yeah, I know, right? Emily suddenly sighs and pouts. I wish I could be that good at magic as those girls. I'm not very good at all, so I have to take some remedial classes even though all I want to do is focus on art instead. Oh, I'm not good at it at all myself. Most of the time I feel like I'll never be able to do it properly. Maybe more like almost all the time really. The train comes to a halt instead, and the announcement for Shawa station comes on. Emmy and I look at each other and smile. We get up from our seats together and move to get off the train together. We get out of the station when Emmy went with Emmy into the bright sunshine. I'm impressed by the modern buildings surrounding us. Whatever I was expecting, I have to admit it was something a bit more fantastical, like Hagiwara's place. Damn it, dude, I am so fucked. I can't pronounce anything, I can't read anything, I'm so shit out of luck. We're still chatting about anime when Amy squints at something in the distance. Hey, did you have someone waiting for you? No, why? Because there's this guy, glaring at us. I look over to where she's staring, and sure enough, there's a crowd. Through the crowd, I see Tatsuya. He's staring at us with his arms crossed, completely unheeded by the people swarming around him. He's staring right at... I'm sorry. Somehow he looks different than usual, in clothing that's a little bit more relaxed. He must have come to pick me up. Yakimura? So you know him? Tatsuya walks up to us, and we stop. He glances at Emmy, and then me.
Come on.
He turns around and starts to walk away. We move to catch up with them, and Emmy speaks to me in a low voice. Is that your boyfriend? No.
I can hear you guys, and no, most definitely not.
Well, we're not together by choice. We've just been assigned.
We're study partners, that's all.
Oh, alright then. No need to freak out about it. Good to hear, though. You were so cold with her that I would have been worried.
And exactly who are you?
I'm Emily Matsuda. I'm a mage, and I'm enrolled over in Hagiwara. Your turn?
Tatsuya Yakimura. I studied Hagiwara as well.
Yukimura? I look back and forth between Tatsuya and Emi as we walk. Okay, what's up with them? So you're probably pretty handy with cryo, right? Can you teach me something?
My guess.
I'm confused with the tension I sense for a moment, then it evaporates just as fast as it came. Actually, I was gonna study with them now. If you have some time and Yukimura's okay with it, do you want to come with us? Yeah, alright. I was just gonna go shopping for some special art supplies, but I can do that anytime. If that's okay with you, Yukimura. Tatsuya looks back at Emi, and he sighs, pushing his glasses up.
Fine.
When he turns back around, Emi leans in close to my ear and whispers, he'd be even cuter if he wasn't so grumpy. I try to stifle a laugh and just barely manage to prevent a snort. He seems like he has good ears, so I better be careful about how I laugh at what I laugh about, or he might decide not to teach me at all. As we walk, I remember that Tatsuya said that he'd be taking me to his mother's cafe. I start to get a little nervous when I think about I might meet his mother. I have to wonder what she's like to have raised such a serious son. I guess I'm about to find out.